You must be here to meet the new pastor. You're a bit early. He'll be here in a few minutes. I'm just finishing up some last-minute details on the spread here. Everything has to be perfect. New pastor coming and all. I hope this new pastor works out. We've had some trouble in the past. They just never seem to stay long. They either leave or we have to make them leave. You just can't get good help these days. It seems like only yesterday our last pastor walked in here. Now, that was a reception. I don't mean it was fancy or anything, just the usual food and decorations, but it was very different. It's hard to explain why, but it was something unexpected for everyone involved. Yes, it seems like only yesterday he came in here. He sure didn't know what he was getting into. Then again, neither did we. Now wait. What happened to the toothpicks? I know I put them out here. Well, I'll go get them while you start the show.
Of God, yes, we'll gather at the beautiful river, gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God.
Sir, can I help you? Are you okay? Do you need a doctor or something?
What? Oh, racket. Can't a man sleep?
Are you okay? I thought you were hurt.
Are you a doctor?
No, I'm the new pastor here, William B. Good. You know, when I saw you lying there in the bushes, I thought you were, you know.
I know. You thought I was begging. Well, you don't have to tell me to leave. I know the way.
No, sir. You got me all right. Sleep in the bushes all you like. I don't mind.
Thought you said you was the parson here.
Pastor. But I don't mind you sleeping in the bushes. Listen. As soon as I get settled in here, how about I find you a couch? Or maybe even a bed to sleep on?
That's right friendly of you, Mr. Glad.
That's good.
Yeah, I think it's good too. Just said so.
No, the name is Good. William Good. And your name, sir?
I am soused.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't mean to judge, but drinking in excess is a serious issue that should be...
No. My name is Soused. Ernest Soused. But my friends call me Lee. That's my middle name.
Ernest Lee Soused?
Yeah. Sort of fits, don't it?
When was your last meal, Mr. Soused?
I don't know. What day is it?
I'll tell you what. As soon as the church office opens in about an hour, how about I go in there and get you a meal, okay?
You know, I've been lying here lots of weekends, and usually on Monday somebody throws me out. This is the first time someone's ever offered me a meal.
Well, sir, it's the least I could do. After all, you are my neighbor.
My neighbor? You're the feller in the dumpster behind the Walmart?
What I mean is, we're all neighbors, like in the story of the Samaritan.
Sam, who?
The Samaritan. You know, he found a man injured along the road, and he helped him. He didn't help him because he knew him or because he was a friend of his. He helped him because he needed help.
Hey, I got a question. If you're the new pastor here, how come you don't have a key? Don't they trust you?
Well, I just arrived here today. They've never even seen me.
Well, they've seen me. There's one guy that steps on my hand to wake me up. He says, "This here's the house of God, not a flop house." And then there's the old lady. She's the worst.
What did she do?
She just puts her nose up in the air and goes, tss, tss, tss. Kind of insulting, really.
You know, I'm sorry to hear they treat strangers in need that way.
I wouldn't worry none if I were you. They're going to treat you pretty good, seeing you're their new pastor, all dressed up and all.
But that's the problem. We shouldn't judge people by their clothes. You should remember we're all brothers.
Brothers? Thought we were neighbors.
Same thing. What I mean is, we have a responsibility to look out for one another, not judge. I mean, they've never even seen me, and yet they're planning this big reception, probably with lots of food and stuff, just because the district assigned me here. But they don't know anything about me. How do they know what I'm like? You know, not all pastors are the same. I could be a mass murderer.
Then shorten your sermon. I'm just kidding. And it's a good thing you came here. This ain't no Catholic church. They ain't got no mass.
Listen, I've got an idea. What if I showed up dressed like you, for instance, and you showed up dressed like me? Do you think they treat us differently just because of our clothes?
Well, sure, that makes sense, don't it?
No, it doesn't. Don't you see? They don't know either one of us, and yet they have this preconceived idea of who we are based solely on our outward appearance. Jesus never looked at anyone's outward appearance. You know, as he said in Matthew, beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are raging wolves.
Well, I'm not sure you're making much sense, but I'm getting kind of hungry. I think I'm going to head down to the Stop and Go and see if the delivery guy's got any day-old stuff to throw out.
Wait a minute. Is that what you eat? Stuff other people throw out?
Hey, it ain't so bad. Sometimes when the Burgerland closes at midnight, I get to extra fries. Even a burger or two.
Hey, let's go to breakfast.
Great! There usually isn't enough for me, but I don't mind sharing.
No, let's go to breakfast and I'll buy. Where's a good restaurant?
There's the Les Messieurs du Snooze, just a few blocks. Then again, there's the Family Diner on 5th. That might be more your speed.
Lead on, sir. And while we dine, I have a proposition for you. You remember that idea I had earlier?
No?
Well, I'll explain it to you while we eat. This could prove to be a very interesting day.
That Ernest and William did make some plans, and it sure did surprise everyone. At the same time, the people at the church were making plans of their own. They wanted to make sure everything was just perfect for the new pastor, sort of getting off on the right foot, so to speak. Funny how we'll clean up and make everything fancy for someone we've never met before. Sort of like pretending you're in good health before going to meet a new doctor, or cleaning up the house before a new maid comes over. Kind of silly, isn't it? Well, everyone was sure in for some excitement. I don't think the new church was ready for what the pastor had planned. And whatever he was expecting in a new church, well, let's just say everyone had an eye-opening experience ahead. Oh, and if I don't want a big surprise myself, I'll get this buffet set up before everyone gets here. You go on back to the show while I finish up here.
The decorations are beautiful. The new pastor will be so impressed.
Thank you. I really hope everything was okay. He is the 5th pastor we've had since I've been here.
Yes, in my day, people stayed where they were at and didn't go running off all the time. These pastors these days, I just don't know.
Estelle, they didn't just go running off. One of them died. And another went off to Paducah or something to take care of his sick mother.
But the other 3 just no stick-to-itiveness anymore.
If I remember correctly, the other 3 were asked to leave.
My point exactly. They knew what we wanted in a pastor. It was their fault, not ours. Imagine having that Saturday night revival with that rock and roll music and all those screaming children.
Oh, I remember. We lost a very good pastor over that.
My dear, anyone who uses contemporary music during a Sunday morning worship is not a good pastor. Bongos in the church? The very idea.
Okay, then what about Brother Samuel?
Oh, please, don't tell me that you approved of his summer dress-down services. People showing up to church wearing whatever they please. Do you remember Hawaiian Sunday? Grass skirts on the choir? What next?
Okay then, how about Brother Robert? Certainly he did.
He was divorced. Any man that can't handle his personal life has no business running a church.
This new pastor comes highly recommended. I'm sure he'll do just fine.
Oh, I hope so.
Well. Hello there, ladies. Is the new pastor here yet?
Not yet, but he should be here anytime.
I sure hope he ain't no old stick in the mud. Yes, Pastor, wouldn't that mean take the youth to Disneyland?
Why not?
Because Donald Duck don't wear pants. Seriously, Maxine? A bunch of characters running around without pants. That's your idea of a church activity for children?
Well, heck, Estelle, the preschool has a cage full of bunnies. Guess what? They don't wear pants either.
Well, we will soon see about that.
You know, sometimes I wonder why she even bothers to come to church. She doesn't seem to like anything that we do.
Just don't have any bongos in the Sunday service, and you should be okay.
Yeah, I've been meaning to ask about that. What is it with the bongo story? You know, ever since I got here, everybody's been warning me about the bongos. What's the deal?
The last music director got fired for having bongos in the church service.
Actually, he was asked to leave.
Same thing.
Not fight. And it was the Saturday night youth concert revival that did it. But the bongos didn't help.
Okay, then what about conga drums? Would that be okay?
I would seriously just stick to the piano and the organ.
Okay, no drums. Is there anything else that I should avoid?
Well, the last youth director got fired for taking the kids to a Hooters on the way back from Six Flags.
Now that I can understand.
Did that really happen?
Oh goodness, yes! And no one would have known about it, except the Sunday school director saw them.
What was he doing there?
Lunch.
Yikes!
They asked him to leave too.
Oh, I sure hope this new pastor is a good one.
What's his name anyway?
Will he be good?
Well, yeah, that's what I was asking.
No, what's his name?
Will he be good?
Why, I certainly hope so. But what's his name?
William B. Good. That's his name.
Maxine, Marion,
Bob?
Steve,
Well, hi, buddy Bob. How you doing? Good to see you.
Estelle. How is everyone? Estelle, why so glum? The pastor will be here any minute. Cheer up.
Robert, do you know they have rabbits in the preschool?
No, but I guess it's okay, isn't it?
It is not. They don't wear any clothes. What are we teaching our children?
Well, Estelle, when they go on field trips to the zoo, we don't phone ahead and have them put pants on the monkeys.
They go to the zoo? How long has this been going on?
Oh, gee, look at the time. Gotta run, lots to do.
Robert, I'm not finished talking about this yet. Well, hello, everyone.
Hi. Oh, you're looking lovely there today, Barbara.
Oh, well, Mother thought I should get dressed up a bit. I can't wait to take this dress off and put on some jeans.
Well, how come you have to get dressed up to meet the preacher? If he sees you like that, well, he won't recognize you next time.
Oh, Mother thinks that first impressions are important. Young ladies, in my day, we were more presentable when meeting the pastor. We wouldn't want him to think you're a common tramp now, would we?
Hey, I've seen you in jeans, and I think you look very presentable.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
Watch it, you two, or she'll see you.
Who's gonna see?
Her mom doesn't want us dating. I'm not good enough for Barbara. She's supposed to marry a rich doctor or lawyer or something.
Steve, she just wants what's best for me.
Oh, well, I happen to think that I'm what's best for you. And if she doesn't like it, she can...
Now, Steve, remember what we talked about?
Oh yeah, okay.
Hey, everyone, the new pastor's here. I just saw him heading towards the office.
Oh, I've forgotten how we used to run through church staff like some people use up toilet paper. They barely get settled in and then whoosh, off they go. Ain't no job security here, that's for sure. And the bad part is that all of them were just trying their best. Not one of them came here to cause trouble. No, sometimes I think we'd kick Jesus himself off the membership care committee for letting people eat without washing their hands. Oh, and don't even get the worship committee started about how he picked grain on the Sabbath. I guess nothing anyone ever does is good enough for some people. Which reminds me, somebody put the regular napkins on this table. I mean, this is okay for potlucks and all, but the new pastor? I know we have some better ones around here somewhere.
Nice. They really put out the good stuff. You know, usually the better the reception spread, the more demanding the church. I guess this church is really tough on pastors. Uh-oh. Bacon wrapped Smokies. I'm really in trouble. I'm gonna find a seat where maybe they won't see me. Well, this one won't work. No, this one's no good either. I like this chair. Get tucked back here in the bushes. Maybe they won't notice me for a while. Keep an eye on them.
Reverend Good, it is so nice. When I think of your accomplishments, such nice things about you.
Oh, that's nice of them.
But I can't help but think that I've seen you somewhere before. Have you been to Boston?
Best concert ever.
So, Reverend Good,
Please call me Will.
Will, what are your thoughts about the music program as part of our worship?
What are your thoughts?
Oh, I think that worship is nothing without music. Make a joyful noise, I always say.
Me too.
Reverend, I mean Will, what are your thoughts on preschool?
Oh, priest school? No, I went to pastor school, not priest school.
No. I mean the school for little children. 1, 2, 3-year-olds like that.
Oh, they are definitely too young to start divinity school at that age. Usually you have to wait for high school first.
Maybe I'm not explaining myself well. How about daycare?
Well, I'm sure they care very much. But you still have to go to high school first.
Excuse me a moment, will you, gentlemen?
You have simply got to do something.
Oh, why me?
You're the man.
Ouch, my eye.
You need to do something.
Oh, for Pete's sakes, I'll take care of it. It can't be any worse than those boys in the youth group.
Nancy, the new pastor just got here. I'm sure the sight of a mature woman throwing a bum out on the street.
You mean old woman, don't you? You think I can't handle him? Why am I dead?
You guys, he is looking this direction. We need to make a decision.
Okay, I will go distract the pastor. Steve, I'll send Robert over. He can help you remove this man from the premises immediately.
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't there something else that you should be doing?
No, not really.
Isn't there something that demands your time?
No, my work's all done here today. I was just asking a new pastor.
Robert, I really think that I heard someone calling for you.
Oh, yeah. I just remembered. I have to do that thing that I have to do. Excuse me, mister. Will, I'll be right back.
Reverend Good, tell me more about St. Louis.
Saint who? I'm not real big on the Saints. I am a Vikings fan, though.
Oh, how funny. But you know perfectly well I'm talking about the town you came from. Remember the Jubilee Church of St. Louis?
Oh, well, California is a beautiful place.
Oh, well, I thought St. Louis was in Missouri.
Which is why I hated to leave there and get sent to Missouri. I have never lived in the East before. So I was glad I wasn't sent. Enough about me. What do you do?
Oh, me? Well, I belong to a number of organizations. After my husband passed, I felt it was good that I stayed busy. So here at the church, I help out with a number of committees, and outside the church, I'm on the garden club, the symphony board.
Excuse me, but I think there's a disturbance over there.
Oh, over where? Say, have you seen our sanctuary yet? It's beautiful this time of year. The carpets are so lush, and the candles are in bloom. And the stage
I really think I should have a look.
Oh no, you mustn't. The kitchen. Have you seen our new dishwasher?
Excuse me, what are you doing to that man?
What man?
We were just...
It's just our bearskin rug.
We were just helping this poor unfortunate to the door. Come on now. Nap time is over. You'll be late for whatever it is you won't be late for. If you leave now.
Is this a member of this church?
Oh, no way.
So he's just some feller who wandered in here, is that it?
You walked right in. Came right in here, yep.
Does anyone know who he is? Why he's here? Does he need help? Is he hurt? Sir, are you okay?
Huh? What?
Sir, you are in the All Saints Church of Pottersville. Can I help you? Are you hungry? Are you ill?
Something to drink would be nice.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Probably wants a bottle of gin or something.
Here, drink this.
Thanks. Say, are those bacon-wrapped Smokies over there? You just wouldn't believe how hungry I am.
Reverend Good. Organizations that take care of these unfortunate.
Nonsense! We got all this food. Let's just share.
But if you feed him, he'll stay. We'll never get rid of him.
Perhaps this fella's right.
Let's be reasonable here. Why, the fella could be wanted for something. He could even be a murderer.
Yes, I see. Perhaps you think we should call the police?
Yes! Have the ruffian thrown in jail.
Isn't that maybe a little bit harsh?
At least he'd get a few good meals.
Oh, give the man a break.
Barbara! Leave at once. This is not a matter for you to be concerned with.
But Mom, he just came to church, the Lord's house, in need of help.
Right. He's just a lost lamb, a prodigal son. And all we do is say throw him out or call the police?
The very idea. Some hooligan wanders in, and we're supposed to fall all over ourselves to make him feel welcome? I'm sorry, but you girls might be just too young to understand this. We just cannot have men like him around here.
Girls, we can't just open the doors of the church to just anyone. First it's drunks, and then drug addicts. Then what's next?
Perhaps sinners? Perhaps sinners would walk right through that door, start hanging out all over the place. In the sanctuary, in the Sunday school classes. I mean, we could end up with all sorts of sinners here in a church of all places.
It's disgraceful.
I see what he means. Think of a church like a hospital. God's hospital. How would a hospital work if all the sick people were kept out?
This is a church, not a rescue mission.
Remember Matthew, where I was hungry and you gave me food? I was thirsty and you gave me drink? I was a stranger and you welcomed me? What? It's what Jesus said in Matthew. As you did it to one of the least of these, my brethren, you did it to me. Which means it's for Jesus, not for a drunk.
Actually, I'm sober right now, if that makes any difference.
You stay out of this. This doesn't concern you.
Really, Estelle? I don't think that makes any sense.
Oh my God. Our mission is to spread the gospel, isn't it? Well, here's someone who looks like he can use a dose of that right now.
Fine. Give him the gospel. There are a couple of extras in the library. He can read it outside.
Mother, we can't just throw the book at him. Remember the Ethiopian on the way to Jerusalem who said in Acts, how can I understand what I'm reading unless someone shows me?
What?
Philip knew the man was right, so he taught him what Isaiah meant. Shouldn't we do the same? Not just spread the word, but actually show it to the people so that they know what it means.
All this fuss over some homeless drunkard.
I'm not drunk.
Whatever. Look at his hair, his clothes. He's obviously just a bum.
No, he's not. He's your new pastor.
Our new pastor?
He's correct. I am the new pastor.
But for heaven's sakes, why are you dressed like that?
I wanted to see how you treat strangers. But it's hard to see what a new church is like when you're all dressed up and on your best behavior. I wanted a candid look at each one of you.
But wherever did you get those filthy rags?
Those are mine. This feller here suggested that we trade clothes this morning.
You! Now I know where I've seen you before. You're that man that sleeps out in our bushes. Disgusting.
The bum?
You're kidding.
Yes, ma'am. Remember last November when you told the gardener to water me? Or you stepping on my hand by accident? And you.
I never did a thing to you.
Didn't you? What did she do?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You thought no one was looking.
What? Now who will you believe? This derelict? He obviously doesn't know what he's talking about.
Remember this?
Hey, was that in my pocket?
I don't got it at the blood bank.
2 months ago, when you thought no one was looking, you put it in my hand, remember?
Probably thought he was the doorman.
That's not all. You said a prayer. A very nice prayer. You prayed for me. You asked that I find help, that I find peace. You also asked for forgiveness. You said if there were less people like you in the world, perhaps there'd be less people like me. Remember?
I don't want to talk about it.
Hold it right there. Something doesn't make sense here.
I'll say,
If she gave you that 5 2 months ago, well then why do you still have it?
Well, yeah. The liquor store's all closed for the season or something.
I'll tell you why he didn't spend it. He's not a poor homeless guy.
What do you mean?
I just realized it. Something's been bothering me about you and couldn't quite put a finger on it until now. You may dress like you're homeless, but you don't talk or act like a man of the streets. Just who are you, really?
Well, Estelle was right to say that she'd saw me before.
Of course, you've been on our doorstep nearly every single day.
No, it was before that. 20 years ago. Remember?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You were a bright, beautiful girl from a well-established family. Me, a poor bowling alley manager.
No, it can't be.
Yes, it is. Do you remember how we met? Fell in love?
At a bowling alley?
Oh, yeah.
Mother, you never let me go near a bowling alley and say only tramps and troublemakers hang out there.
Okay, Estelle, which one were you?
Barbara, I guess it's time you knew. I guess it's time you all knew. I had a rather difficult past. Sometimes I wasn't such a lady.
She bowled a 185.
Well, Mother, I guess that I'll be able to go to the youth bowling party next month then.
We'll talk about that later.
What happened between you two?
Your grandparents didn't approve. They said that we were young and foolish, and they said that I was ruining her life.
But I never thought that, Ernest, never. And if you really loved me, then why did you leave me?
He left you?
Without even a word. Not even goodbye. Why, Ernest?
One night, after your father caught me walking you home one night, he sat me down and gave me a good talking to.
What did he say?
Oh, the usual threats. Stay away from my daughter, or I ignored him. After all, I was a teenager and I knew everything. But there was one thing that he said that I agreed with.
What?
He said that if I really loved you, not just a crush, but real love, that I'd let you go and give you the opportunity for something better. Well, there I was, working part-time at a bowling alley, no prospects for the future, so I agreed. Why should you be stuck with me and be poor for the rest of your life?
Oh, Ernest.
I moved on, making my way in the world, but I have to ask, since I gave you the opportunity for something better, did you find it? Did you get something better?
I thought I did. For a while, at least. I married a rich man. We were happy when we had Barbara, of course. He treated us well enough, but I guess money doesn't buy true happiness. Oh, Ernest, if I could turn back the clock, if I could go back, I'd run away from home and go with you. I wouldn't care about being poor. As long as we'd be together, I'd be glad to be Mrs. Ernest South.
Wait a minute. Ernest Lee Souse?
That's my name.
The inventor of putt-putt bowling?
Yes.
You own all those putt-putt bowling courses?
It's true. All true.
Why, he's not poor. He's a millionaire.
Wait a minute. This doesn't make any sense. So you knew each other 20 years ago, and you went away and became a millionaire. I can see that. But then you show up 20 years later lying on the sidewalk?
Well, a year ago, I hired a detective to find Estelle and to tell me what happened to her. His report was not very pleasant. He had said that she'd become a wealthy widow who bossed everyone around. Constantly judging and, well, making everyone miserable.
Yeah, it sounds pretty accurate.
But I knew the Estelle that I met. I knew she couldn't have changed that much. So I decided to do some detective work on my own.
So you laid around pretending to be homeless just to see what she was like?
Yes, I found that around other people, she was cruel and proud. But when she was alone, she could be that loving, sweet woman that I once knew.
Why is that?
I guess I was afraid. I had to put up a front to protect myself.
From what?
Love. She'd loved once and I deserted her. She didn't want that to happen again, so she put up her defenses. Never again was she going to appear frail and weak. Why let others have an advantage? So she determined to always be strong, always in charge.
Oh, Ernest, you always understood me better than anyone else.
Now that I've found you, the real you, I can ask you something.
What?
Is there any way that you could forgive me for walking out on you 20 years ago? Any chance that I could get a second chance?
The Bible does say to forgive.
How about this? Would you allow me the pleasure of your company, say, to dinner tonight?
Oh, of course, Ernest. Only, wear something nice, okay? I mean, not the rags.
Of course, I'd almost forgot. And this isn't my normal suit either. I'll return to the hotel, I'll get changed, and I'll come back and pick you up, but nothing fancy, okay? How about the family diner on 5th? It's kind of my new favorite.
Does that mean I get my suit back?
Of course. Let's go change.
You know, it's funny.
Well, what?
Well, all these years, I've been so afraid of someone finding out my secret, what I was really like. And now that you all know, it's not so bad.
Honey, I've been around a long time. And some of the things I did when I was young, whew, when you've got some time, I've got some stories that will curl your hair.
You have been around a long time, Maxine. I'm sorry about the way I've been acting.
It's okay. We're kind of used to it. It does look like the reception's probably over though, so any chance I can get someone to help me clean up?
Sure. Glad to help.
I thought that was women's work.
Hey, Estelle, can I ask you something?
Sure.
You know that time we took the youth to the beach and you complained so much about them running around in those skimpy little bathing suits?
What about it?
Oh, nothing, except we wouldn't have been able to go if it for somebody placing $200 in the collection marked Youth Beach Trip. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
Maxine, the less you say about that, the better.
Okay. Only we plan to go to a praise concert next week, and we really could use some gas money. Perhaps you could complain about that too?
Okay, I can complain about that too.
Great, deal.
Steve,
Yes,
I don't want you and my daughter hanging around that donut shop anymore.
but
Here, take her someplace nice for a change.
gee, okay, thanks.
And if you're careful, maybe you two can go bowl a couple of
Thank you. And don't you worry, I won't let anything happen to her.
You know, it's kind of funny the way some people are. Not always being what they appear to be, wearing disguises. We're all like that in our own way. Putting up defenses, not letting our true feelings show. Sometimes we get so caught up in the act that we forget it's just an act and really become what we pretend to be. Estelle was really a good person, hidden under a protective layer of self-righteousness. Sort of the way the new pastor was hidden in rags. Sort of a sheep in wolf's clothing. Most of us know deep down what God wants us to do, and we do it if we could, but we're so afraid of letting people know what we're doing. The Bible says, don't hide your light under a bushel. Let it shine for the whole world to see. Oh, well, I guess it's almost time for our reception. I think I'll go on out to the foyer and wait for him. You know, I wonder what our new pastor will be like when he gets here. More importantly, though, I wonder what we'll be like when he gets here.
Angelique Gross. Arnie Middlestead. Twyla Ernst. Grace Irie. Shannon Augustin. Nikki Brandenburg. Brandy Klusman. Marv Schultz. Garrett Irie. Brian Keatsman. Ladies and gentlemen, the cast of A Sheep in Wolf's Clothing.